Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to look at Kymatica's AUM. Now, what this is I'm assuming that AUM stands for Audio Unit Mixer, but it does so much more than that. For instance, this essentially is a mixing app, and it has a whole bunch of other functions. You can route audio, effects, MIDI. You can do synthesizer apps. You can do file player apps, such as Kymatica's Audio Share. And it just does so much. So let's dive right in and take a look at what we've got here. If you can see, this is your main screen, and we have your tempo up here. We have transport controls. We have a volume meter for your output. We have a DSP check over here, which lets you know how much resources your apps are consuming. And the nice thing about this is it will run as many apps as your iPad will let you. So in my case, I'm running an iPad Air, so I can get quite a bit going on here before it starts to kind of glitch out and it's consuming a lot of resources. So it's always a good idea to keep your eye on that. And then you have your battery over here, and then we have the menu right here, and I'll get to that in a minute. We have an open screen here. There's nothing on it, and what we're going to do is we're going to hit this add button, and it pulls open a channel. Now this is pretty much what it is. And if you see, you've got your output here, which in this case I've got something hooked up to the headphone jack going into the camera, so you're getting a direct feed of audio right to the camera. What's really cool here is you have other options. So you have this, you can do an audio bus output, so you can send whatever you're doing here to audio bus and it will mix that. And then you have mix buses here. So you have you look like you have about 8 or 9 different mix buses, and I'll show you how that'll come in handy here in a minute. But for right now, we're just going to do this. So then what you have up here is your source. If you hit the addition button, you can see you can add audio unit extensions, which right now the only one I have is ISEM by Arturia. We have inter-app audio, which most of my apps have inter-app audio, which is Apple's proprietary routing system. For instance, if you can open these up in GarageBand, I guess. So, and as you can see, I have a nice selection of apps here. Let's open up FM4. Okay, that's a good place to start. So, as you see, if you tap the icon, it will open up FM4. And so we have that open, and we should be able to hear sound here. Okay, we've got sound. So I just wanted to check that out. And if you see, you have the icon up here in the preset window. If you tap that, it will take you right back to AUM. And you can control the volume. So all right, and then we also have solo and mute buttons, which you know what they do. You can either mute the channel or just have it play when you have multiple channels going, and I'll get to that too as we get into it. And over here you can add inserts and effects. AUM has some built-in stereo processing, so you can make a stereo wide thing. You can go stereo to mono, you can do panning, mid-side balance, mid-side convert, and invert phase. So if you've got, say, 2 apps that are playing that are out of phase, you can invert the phase on one of the channels just like you could a mixing console. And then we have filters and EQs, so you can do different things there. And again, this is really geared towards live playing, so you could set yourself up here and then just run everything off of this one app. If you have the processing power, you can set up, say, like 3 or 4 different apps, and then just bring them in and out as you need to, or all at once, and you can process them any way you need to with filters, EQs, stereo processing. We have dynamics here, which these are pretty basic. You have a gain, which allows you to get it louder. You have a hard clip, which gives it pretty much, once you hit that ceiling, you're there. Saturation kind of fills it out, like when it hits a ceiling, it'll kind of fatten it out a little bit, almost like distortion, but not digital sounding. And then you have a peak limiter, which is pretty much, this is as high as you can go in your volume and you can't go any higher. We have bus sends, which if you wanted to send these to a different bus and then process a whole bunch of apps all at once, you can do that. And then we have the inter-app audio. And here it'll show all of the effects that you can use. For this, I was using Magellan, and I had actually set up an effects patch in Magellan that basically, when the audio is routed into it, you just get the effects. So you can hear the effect that has. So this is one channel. Now, if you want to add another one, you just do so. You hit the plus sign and it adds another one. And we can add, let's add ISEM. Takes a minute to load. And okay, let's see if we get this. I'm gonna mute this. Okay, so I'm not getting any sound right now. And that's probably because there is no MIDI signal going in to ISEM. So let's go over here to the menu. And you can see you've got, you've got your files. You can save, clear, you can take notes, help functions, you have settings, and here's what we want, MIDI route. Okay, and what this does is it pulls up a MIDI matrix. And as you can see, I have an orange arrow going from my nano key, which is what I'm using to control everything, into my FM4 input. Now, if I wanted to, I could control my ISEM too. So now I've got my nano key controlling both at the same time. And so now, okay, we've got sound. And the nice thing about this being an audio unit is it'll just pull up what I need, which is, the front interface. It doesn't bring up the keyboard or anything. Okay, and then you just hit close, and now we're all set. So I'm going to bring the volume down on it. So, all right, so now you're hearing ISEM. Now I've unmuted FM4. So now I'm running both apps at the same time, and I've got them mixed so that the levels are as they are. Say you want to change something out. So let's go over here. For instance, let's take the effects off of FM4. So I'm going to touch this and I'm going to slide it to one. Whoops! I'm going to slide it to one side. And you see the eject button. Hit the eject button. Gone. I'm going to open up a Mixbus. I'm going to open up Mixbus A. And Mixbus A on ISEM. Now, when I tap this, I have the option, if I hit Mixbus, I can receive from Mixbus A. So now basically what I've done is I've taken these two channels and filed it over here into the top of this channel. So now you're still hearing the same thing I had earlier, but I can now say I want to add Magellan over here. Okay, and now I have effects on both apps. Voila. Say I want to add an audio player. Let's see what I got here. Okay, so now I have an audio file loaded up in the audio player. And if I hit play, it starts running it. And you'll see the waveform come up. Okay, so you get the idea. And what you can do here is you can record that, and it will automatically dump whatever you record from here into audio share. So then if you go into audio share, it'll say, you know, files. So, okay, so now I have 3 channels here. I only really need 2 channels, or I have 4 channels, I'm sorry. So let's say I want to get rid of channel 4 altogether. So I'll tap down on channel 4. It says remove channel. I hit that, gone. I go back to my original 3. Let's try this. So I'm going to hit record. Nothing to record. Okay. I missed something here. All right, so as you can see, I tried hitting record and I have nothing ready to record. So I need to arm my tracks. So if you look down here at the bottom where these are, you'll see little R's right next to the bottom of the channel here. So if I hit that, now it's armed for recording. So if I hit record, and we can stop that. Now, what happens is it's been recorded. Now it's already been filed over into audio share. So let's look at that for a minute. Here's audio share. And okay. If you look up here, I've got a file that says AUM recordings. And if I open that up, untitled, it shows me everything that I've recorded up to this point. So for instance, today's recording is right here. So and there it is. And I can edit it further. I can share it to SoundCloud, whatever. You know, if you're familiar with audio share, this is what it does. It's kind of a final processor before you know, either you can ship it out or email it or bring it into other apps. So there it is. That is AUM in a nutshell. It's a lot of its basic functions. If you run some other apps, say with Ableton Link, you can get a nice sequence going in that. I'm actually trying to figure out the best way to use this as a live performance tool. I'm still playing with it. I'm still getting to know it. But essentially, these are the basics for it. And that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.